Hey everyone, Kim's Tectonic here. We're going to be changing the power steering pump on a 2002 Trans Am. Last year they made them, WS6 package. Let's get started. Okay, so here's the issue we have. The pulley popped off, and it's a 125598885. Most of my auto parts I went to said that they can't get the pulley, or it would have to be ordered and take a week or so or whatever. I think I found one on eBay and it's steel instead of plastic anyway. And here's the issue. It popped off that, I don't know how well you can see, it popped off of this little gear with the splines on it down here. I don't know how well you can see it. And then it wore into the side of the reservoir, and it started leaking, and luckily it popped off when I wasn't driving down the road 70, 80 miles an hour. So we're going to start with getting good access to that, which probably means removing a lot of this stuff on top, which I don't think should be too difficult. So we're going to get started with that. Okay, well, first thing I did was popped off this breather hose, undid these two clips for changing your filter. There's two factory push-in tabs, and then I undid this clamp that goes to your intake, and all that pops right off, gives me more access to the pump. Remove this filter. Might want to change it while we're doing this. Okay, you can see a lot more what's going on in here now. Try to give you a closer look. So you can see how it come off. The pulley just came right off of these, which is just a bunch of splines, and the pulley fit over that. It's kind of crazy design and plastic pulley. I think the one I ordered is going to be steel. And of course my serpentine belt fell off, and it don't look too bad a shape. I think I can reuse that. So now it's all about changing this pump, if it's the right one. Hopefully we got to take this line off, and this bolt here, and this bolt, and so let's get started. So here's the old part, the part that I removed. You got two studs that mount it, which are right there and there, and those were 1/2 inch, and then you need 5/8 for the line going into the pump. And this was just a regular crimp hose. I've kind of plugged these to keep them from leaking, and I blew the oil out of the alternator that it had dripped on, so that's give it time to dry out. And this is the only problem we're gonna have, is this is pressed on to the shaft on the old one, and this was the inside. That's part of the pulley that came out of the inside of this old one, and that's what caused all the problems actually. But in doing so, when it started wobbling, it put a groove right in my reservoir. So I got to wait for the pulley. Nobody carried it, so I had to order it online. And hopefully we can get it on the new pump. So I'll get back to you when I get the pulley. Guys, I got this pump, and this new pulley is steel compared to the old janky plastic one. Now, my only issue is that this has to be pressed on. So I got this pulley puller installer kit. You got to take this jack screw. I lubricated it. You put it into the pulley body. You put your screw installer in here all the way and tighten it. That don't have to be too tight, but tighten that in. We're going to do that real quick. Just snug it in there. And now we're going to take this and put your thrust washer will go on here, and then your bearing, and put this in. Tighten that in. And you take this and put this on here. It runs pretty close. So we're going to see how that works before I get it too far on. Alright guys, I don't know how well you can see this, but I'm pretty sure I got the pulley the right depth. And I put my 2.5 inch screws back in, and it's a 5/8 nut for the power steering pump line, and then the return is just a little clamp fitting that I just had to squeeze and slide it back over. And then the pulley's all lined up, ready to go back on. I'm sure most of you know about the pulley tension spring. I got the belt all lined up where it goes. Stick this on, put this forward, and you should be able to get your belt on if everything's all lined up. Get it on. Make sure everything's right. Make sure it's all in the right position. If it's not, that's probably why I'm having a hard time. It's not on the alternator right. We'll reach down in there, make sure that's in the right groove. Okay, that's right now. Now you should be able to just put this on here. Put this forward. Oh shit. hard time. Try it again. Make sure it's underneath down here. Everything's right. Lined up there. It's on that bottom pulley. It's around the flywheel. Try it again. Pull this forward. There you go. Make sure it's tucked underneath here. Make sure it's as straight as you can get it. And that's that. So, like I said, you hook up your 5/8 line, you hook up your hose, your return hose, and then everything should be good. I guess the big test is when you turn it over. So I'm going to go ahead and try to do that. Put it in. All right, once you get all that installed, I recommend flushing your fluid. And now we're going to go ahead and put this piece back on. Got your 2 wires here that hook to it. This one and this one. I'm going to go ahead and pop that on. Make sure you get this connected right. That's on there. Tighten that up with a 5/16. Make sure this is all in place. You got your breather hose. Throw that on. Tighten this clamp. Tighten the clamp. Got a couple little plugs. Fucking just disappeared on me. Oh. Couple plugs go back in here. One there. One over here. Matching side. Plug your harnesses back in. She's ready to go. We tightened our bolts. We tightened our fluid line. We got the belt on right, I'm assuming, I hope. And hopefully the pulley's in the right position. Let's go ahead and we're going to fire it up and see what happens. There you have it. Looks like it's running pretty smooth. Everything's hooked up. content. There you have it. Should be good to go. There's the power steering one. Looks like running pretty straight. Everything looks good. Cleaned the air filter when we had it out. There you go. Ready for the road. So there you have it. Not a hard job. Waiting for the part was the longest, probably, part of the project. I was supposed to get that pulley quicker than it ever came, but that's how it goes, I guess. Not ragging on them. Probably the postal service problem, but anyhow, it's done. Went smoother than I thought. So if you found it helpful, subscribe. Yeah, everybody subscribe. All right, I'm out of here. Catch you in the next one.